Good morning, respected Principal Ma'am, dignitaries, guests, teachers, and students.
The foundation of modern school Vasant Vihar is built on the premise of development and advancement. For that very purpose, we warmly welcome you to today's seminar against drug abuse in collaboration with the Narcotics Control Bureau and Central Board of Secondary Education.
We request our principal, Ms. Vibha Khosla, to formally welcome our guests, Mr. Himanshu Gupta, Secretary, CBSE, and Mr. N. Brinal, Additional Director of NCB.
Welcome Shri Neeraj Gupta ji, Deputy Director NCB, Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, Secretary Shri Brinal ji, Additional Director NCB. We are honored to have you here with us to sensitize the importance of campaigning against drug abuse. It has become a very pertinent topic in today's time, and your presence and insights are invaluable to us and will significantly enhance our understanding and commitment to this crucial issue. We look forward to hearing your perspective on this meaningful topic, and with this, I would like to request Himanshu Gupta ji, Secretary CBSE, to please come and take over.
Principal of the Modern School, Vasant Vihar, Madam Vibha Khosla ji, Deputy Director General NCB, Shri Neeraj Gupta ji, Additional Director of Narcotics Control Bureau, Shri Brinal ji, all the teachers and my dear students. First of all, I would like to thank Modern School Vasant Vihar for collaborating with CBSE and also Narcotics Control Bureau in organizing such an important event. I would like to tell all the students that this is being live streamed in all the schools across the country, and even parents are watching it. It's a very important topic which needs to be discussed more and more in today's times, that is drug abuse. Many a times, the age group that easily falls prey to it is children of the age 14, 15, 16, and sometimes it is, a kind of a fashion or a fad in society that friends or in peer pressure, students start taking drugs. They think that it is very cool. I have really seen a lot of some of my close known tools who have actually, started it off in peer pressure, thinking that, 3 of my friends are taking, I should also join. And sometimes what happens that when a group of 3 or 4 are taking drugs, they try to bully some of the other students who are not. And they think that it is really cool that I am taking drugs, I am happy high in this, but you realize that after 3 or 4 years that that has actually ruined your life. You lose your senses. You ultimately have to realize that what actually gives you happiness in life. When we go deep inside, we talk to not only when we start introspecting, we'll realize that real happiness does not come in these material resources. Happiness actually is something which is intrinsic and which more comes when you do different sort of activities like going, being close to nature. Some people might be getting more happiness when they are closer to nature, when some people like doing meditation. But one thing is clear, majority of the scientific studies, majority of the, you go through any of the data, they have clearly shown that drug usage might give you a temporary sense of highness, but in long term it is really damaging to your life. So as a child, it is very important that you realize that even if somebody very close to you is having drugs, it is not cool to join that person. It is cooler to stay away from that person and it is far more easier to join a group of 4 or 5 and start, taking drugs. It is far more difficult to stay away from them or to counsel them that, look, what you are doing is not right. And addiction to anything, whether it is drugs is obviously a very, very severe issue, but addiction to gadgets, addiction to any sort of thing is actually dangerous for, any person. So realizing this, CBSE has, started off a campaign along with Narcotics Control Bureau to actually make children aware about, number one, what are the mental health issues related to drugs? Number two, what are the legal provisions? I would also like to tell you that legal provisions are actually very strict. Narcotics Control Bureau, that's why is here, because they are the enforcing authority. A person who is found to, be using a drug in commercial quantity can be jailed for even 10 years. So sometimes, in childhood, we don't understand what we are actually doing. So that's why it is very important that not only students but also teachers are aware about how we can control this menace, and it is actually ruining millions of lives. And that's why it becomes really important that early, in that early age, we are able to make everyone aware. And I really look forward to this session. Thank you so much once again, Modern School, for giving this opportunity. In due time, we will be, in a campaign mode, identifying champion schools who would like to, take a major role on drug awareness. And we will try to expand this in entire country. Thank you so much. Now, with this, I will request Deputy Director General of Narcotics Control Bureau, Shri Neeraj Gupta sir, to kindly come and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Manju. Respected Principal Ma'am, Mrinal, dear students and students who are watching it online, live, a very good morning to all of you. I would like to start with a question to all of you. How many of you feel that committing theft is a crime? Okay, quite a substantial number. How many of you feel that you should not commit a crime, commit theft? What is the reason for this? One of the biggest questions whenever we go for any awareness campaign is that whether this awareness campaign against the drug abuse is effective. What is the efficacy of this awareness campaign? This is a big question whenever we go in any school, any place, conducting the awareness about the drug abuse. In fact, I went to one of the renowned schools in Delhi and I had an interaction with the principal there, and her first question was, too much of information to the students, won't they be very curious to use it? That was her first question. So that is the misconception about the drug awareness program. Why I tell you? Why you are aware that committing theft is a crime and you should not commit the theft? Because from very first day, your parents in home, your teacher in school are teaching you, telling you that committing theft is not a good thing. It is a sin, it is a crime, and you should not do it. That means they are making you aware about the act and its consequences. And that is how the order is being maintained in the entire society. Similarly, the case is with the campaign against the drug abuse. If we feel that too much of information to the students about the different type of drugs, their effect, that the student would fall for it, it's not true and unsubstantiated. The reason is that if the student knows that what is the drug, what kind of effect it creates, and what would be the consequences, be it physical consequences on physical health, mental consequences on mental health, or legal consequences of having punishment, different kind of punishment for using drugs. If they are well aware that if they are going to use this particular drug, these are the consequences to follow, definitely this awareness program are going to be very useful for building a healthier society. In today's world, we are fighting war against drugs. If we see the data, in 2019, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has conducted some survey. And if we see the survey in 2019, and if we see the drug prevalence today, it has gone up rather than going down. The only way to prevent, control drug abuse is creating the mass awareness and making this a Jan Andolan against the drug abuse. There comes the role of teachers and parents. Again, there is one more myth, whether we should tell the teachers or parents, or whether we should involve teacher or parents in the fight against drug abuse. Absolutely, we have to involve them because they are the first responder. They are the person. They are the basically main person who are watching the behavior of children day in and day out. Parents see the children behavior at home. Teachers always see the behavior of children at school. And there they can make the difference. If teachers are observant, if they see that these children is showing some kind of sign which are not good for his physical and mental health, and he may be indulging in drug abuse, or there is a probability of that, then definitely she or he can take, the teacher can take preventive action. They can approach to the counseling center, they can approach to the helpline and take the corrective measure immediately. Similar is the case with the parents. If parents at home see that children is showing different kind of behavior, deviation in the behavior, they should be observant about that and they should immediately take the help of the expert so that their children should not fall but prey for drug. I am really grateful to Himanshu that he has taken a keen interest in this subject. We are interacting from last 6 months or so on this subject. The first program we conducted on Pariksha Pe Charcha, and he is really worried about this menace which is growing like day in and day out. I would like to place my gratitude to him that he has taken so much of interest that we are going to collaborate with CBSE in future. And at the same time, he has arranged this program where he has given the opportunity to NCB to come and interact with the children in this school offline or otherwise to the all students who are watching online. I wish all the success to this program. I wish all the success to the principal ma'am. And I always believe that we are going to win this war. This war, there is no other option except to win it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the kind words. I will now request Shri N. Mrinal to please take over the session.
A very good morning to all of you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And I must also thank the Secretary CBSE for taking such keen interest in this subject. and we are going to wage a war kind of a thing. For that matter, that we want drug-free campuses in this country. So this is nothing to scare you as such. We'll keep this session a little interactive. If you want to interdict me during this session, if you want to have any queries or any clarification during the session, during my talk, we can interact, right? Are we on the same page? Are we okay? So, the aim of this awareness program is to make you knowledgeable about how big this problem is, what are the legal provisions, and if somebody indulges in consumption or trafficking of drugs, what are the extent of punishments which are enshrined in the Act, and if somebody gets into this problem or menace, how he can come out of it. So I will quickly rushing through the slides and then we can have some interaction. Can we have the next slide, please? So this is a verse taken from Bhagavad Gita. Anek chitta vibranta mohajal samavda prasattam kam bhogeshu patanti narke anushchate. Means bewildered by innumerable fancies, trapped in the web of delusion and addicted to desires and enjoyment, they descend into a foul hell. So perhaps this will indicate to you that if we are very close to fancies, we are bound to fall in some kind of a hell. Next. Now, what is NCB all about? NCB stands for Narcotics Control Bureau. Let me also introduce myself. I am Additional Director in Narcotics Control Bureau. I am in charge of Delhi NCR, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Haryana. So basically, NCB does have three roles, which is there in the motto of NCB as well, is intelligence collection, coordination and enforcement. So NCB is supposed to be the apex coordinating agency in the country. It falls under Ministry of Home Affairs. We enforce the NDPS Act. We collect intelligence. We coordinate with international agencies like UNODC, United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, and other international bodies. India as a country is a signatory member to UN Convention on Drugs of 1961, and we have a very strict law. We will be dealing with the presentation. So these are our, it was established in 1986. The mission is to enforce India's anti-drugs law. The vision is to have India as a society aims for a drug-free nation. So that is why we have such a strict law wherein the consumption, trafficking and even the finances which are derived from drug business are to be tackled very, very seriously. Next. This I have already done. Next. Now, what is substance abuse? Many times it is confused that drug abuse and substance abuse are the same, but it is not. Substance abuse is commonly known as drug abuse, but substance abuse also includes alcohol and other tobacco, etc. But in this presentation, in this session, we are going to focus more on drug menace in the society, not on alcohol or any other substance. It involves substances which are detrimental to one's health, social life, or both. For example, there are obvious examples like the drugs, many of the drugs name you must have heard, or Next. Can you have the next slide, please? So these are some of the common examples. I just want to make you aware the names of the drugs, you know. So illicit drugs are cocaine, which is commonly known as coke, crack, heroin, dope, brown, hero, marijuana, methamphetamine, it is also known as crystal or meth. This is, how many of you have heard these names? Huh? Any of you? You have heard? So that's, that's a good thing to know. No, but I will strongly advocate not to indulge in such practices. So I think most of you know this thing. We are going to elaborate a little on what are the concepts of stimulants, depressants, inhalants. You know, these are various categories of the drugs, but for us, there is no distinction as such. As a legal enforcement agency, any drug is a drug, any consumption is a consumption, and any trafficking is a trafficking for us. So, you are aware about the hallucinogens like LSD, PCB, which is also known as angel dust, mescaline or MDMA, known as Molly, ecstasy, etc. Next. So, we are going to briefly touch upon the types of drugs. Next. Opium, you know, it is extracted from the bulb of papaver plant. Mainly in the form of a brown gel kind of a thing. It is orally administered or smoked. Next. Marijuana, the Hindi name is ganja. You know, it is a matter of discussion. We should discuss it. Why? Because if you are aware, then only you must know the ill effects, you must know the negative effects of all these things, and you must also know how it is going to impact your health and your social life, your social well-being. Because I'm deviating a little bit, but in our entertainment world or in our the world which is called happiness or enjoyment kind of thing, these things are extolled. This is as DDG sir was telling, this is, people feel that these are cool things. But believe me, these are not. These have some serious effects on your health and your social well-being. We'll be discussing in the upcoming slides. Next. Stimulants are basically substances which increases your heart rate, which increases your activity. It directly affects the central nervous system, that is your brain. For example, are amphetamine, benzedrine, and other tablets. It is taken orally, attention deficit disorders happens, and your alertness, excitation, euphoria, etc., loss of sleep, appetite, loss of appetite, these are some of the symptoms of taking this kind of drugs. Next. Depressant has a other way effect of lowering down your system. It deaccelerates your central nervous system. For example, barbiturates, capsules, tablets, whole lot of things are there. Heroin, ketamine are some of the depressants. Next. Hallucinogens. What are hallucinogens? You know what hallucination is? You go into a different kind of a world. You start hallucinating. So LSD, PCB, that is phenyl, and angel, it is called angel dust, mescaline, psilocybin, which is also called mushroom, and the street name is mushroom, MDMA, and the recent trend is designer drugs, all synthetic kind of drugs. There is something called cocktail drugs. Cocktail means you mix, no, cocktail of alcohol drinks is something different. Cocktail of drugs. Cocktail of drug means you mix natural and synthetic drugs, right? For example, natural drugs are those which are derived from nature, means plants. But synthetic drugs are manufactured in the laboratory. Methamphetamines and other tablets, they are derived in the laboratory and industries. They are prepared. Next. Now, impact. Next. The short-term and long-term effects. If somebody, look what happens, you start trying out of peer pressure or excitement or health thing, but it has a very strong tendency of addiction. Once you get into all these things, it is very difficult to come out. The very glaring example among us in terms of the Indian celebrities is, who is the best example? Shah Rukh Khan is not. Sanjay Dutt is the best example. Why? Have you watched any of his videos or interview? Yes? By his own admission, he has taken more than 200 types of drugs. And it was very, very difficult for him to come out of it. You must have all watched that movie, Sanju. Right? And it's good that you have watched. So, but since last 40 years, he hasn't taken. So that's a good thing on his part. Anyway, so these are some of the short-term effects. It impairs your judgment, physical impairment, it seriously affects your health. Overdose risk is there, behavioral change, and accidents can also happen. Substance abuse leads to poor decision making and impaired judgment. That can cause immediate physical impairments including dizziness, slurred speech, and lack of coordination. Overdose risk is taking a large dose of certain substances, especially opioids. Opioids means some of the chemicals. There are many kinds of range of chemicals derived from opium. That is the pepper plant. Especially opioids or stimulants can lead to overdose. This can cause life-threatening symptoms like respiratory failure, seizures, or cardiac arrest. If somebody tries to take it in large quantities, all these things can happen to the person. Behavioral change, individuals may experience sudden mood swings, aggression, paranoia, which can strain relationship with family, friends, and colleagues. Accidents can happen. It can impair your motor skills. And if you are into some kind of driving after taking these chemicals, accidents can happen. Next. Long term. These are some very serious issues. Very, very serious. Because as I told you, it's almost, it's near impossible to get out of it. We, as an organization, NCB works in close coordination with the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. We have seen cases where 1 out of 100 person addict, drug addict, comes out of this this serious health issue. So addiction, prolonged use of substances can lead to physical or psychological dependence, which is known as addiction. Cognitive impairments, long-term drug use can result in cognitive deficits including memory loss, difficulty in concentrating and impairing learning abilities. These effects can be particularly damaging to young people whose brains are still developing. As you know, as a nation, what advantage we have currently? Can anyone tell us?
There are a lot of young people in India.
Yes, we have the demographic dividend to our advantage. We have a large chunk of population which is young, which is very young, very, very young. So, we have to make good use of it rather than, rather than having them indulged in some negative things. Mental health issues, substance abuse is closely linked to mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression and psychosis. Physical health problems, these are some serious health issues which can happen. Your liver is damaged, your heart has stimulants like cocaine and methamphetamine can lead to heart problems, including heart attacks and strokes. Respiratory issues, smoking drugs like marijuana, crack cocaine or methamphetamine can cause lung damage and respiratory problems. Next. Just to give you a sense, in 2019, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment did a survey. Because there was no formal survey before that, and this was aimed to find out how deep this menace is into our society as a nation, in our country. So, we could find that these are data of 2019, current data we do not have, but some 2.83% of our population in the age group of 10 to 75, this mostly young people have consumed cannabis, 2.1% have consumed opiates, 1.08% have consumed sedatives and cocaine 0.1%, ATS, amphetamine type of stimulants is 0.18%. Now 2% or 1% is a sizable number because our population is huge. Next. These are other data derived from that survey, aiming specifically to young people or male or female. As you can see, some 10 to 17 years of children, they have 0.9% of the children they have experienced cannabis, ganja or charas, opioid 1.8%, inhalants 1.17%. I must tell you that the single most important thing which is there is we must discuss, we must talk about it. Right from the young age, right in the school, we must talk about it. Because school children, many of the school children in India, private schools, be it private or government schools, are subjected to this menace. In child care centers, we have seen child of the age of 10, 11, 12, they are all taking it. So next. Now this is nothing to scare you, but we must know what are the legal provisions, and if somebody is consuming, how he can be punished. We are here to punish. No, we are also into coordination. So, NDPS Act empowers the drug law enforcement agencies in this country. The key provisions are, it is the section 54 of NDPS Act is something called presumptive in nature. Presumptive means, what do you mean by presumptive law? Anyone? Presumptive law means, if any section of NDPS Act is imposed on anybody, there is a presumption that he has committed that crime. The onus of proving not guilty is on that person. You understand? Because in terms of law, I must tell you, in terms of law, the other acts and other crimes, the onus of proving that somebody is guilty is on the state. You know, that's why if you commit any other kind of crime like theft or robbery or whatever, the state has to prove that you are guilty. Here, it is opposite. The law is presumptive. This is a very strict kind of a law. It is called spatial law. And even in our constitution, in section 47 of the directive principles of state policy, we have enshrined that India will strive to be a drug-free country. There are provisions of rehabilitation and enforcement, as I have already told you. NCB is the premier enforcing agency, though other agencies also enforce. The mandate of Narcotics Control Bureau is to deal with trafficking, particularly, which is something called commercial quantity. It will come later in the slide. We deal in large numbers. But other enforcement agencies like state police, DRI, customs, etc. also are engaged. Are you all with me? Huh? You are finding it interesting or not? Sure. Next. So, there is a provision of small and commercial quantity. I must tell you, there is a myth in the society that people who are consumers, consumers will only take in small quantities. Say suppose, for example, cocaine is there, and if somebody consumes, he will hold some amount, 1 gram, half gram, or whatever. Even that amount is good enough. We can arrest that person, we can prosecute, and there is a provision of 1 year imprisonment and fine. So, if somebody carries an amount of drugs below the particular small quantity, the act is very clear that it is non-bailable, and all offences under NDPS Act are non-bailable and cognizable. So, NDPS provisions are very clear and very strict in nature. Only because of the fact that we want a drug-free society in this country. As you can see, very small quantities are also, means even if you carry at a quantity lesser than the small quantity mentioned in case of every drugs, you can be prosecuted, you can be arrested. And it is a non-bailable offence. Bail is an exception. You know what bail, cognizable offences and all, you must have read, right? Apart from that, if somebody is into trafficking and dealing in commercial quantities, we can go for financial investigation, we can freeze his accounts, we can freeze his properties which has been derived out of drug money, and we can also go for what is called PIT NDPS, that is Prevention of Illicit Trafficking in the Act was passed in 1988, wherein he can be put into preventive detention. Next. So these are some of the crimes and the sections and punishments which are there in the Act. As you can see, if you deal in any commercial quantity, you can get a punishment of 10 to 20 years, and if somebody is a repeated offender, he can also get death penalty. That is there in the Act. Now, why I am telling all these things? Because in many cases we have seen that a particular student, I am going to deal a case study later. Somebody starts with consumption, and if he becomes an addict, he will start trafficking. Why? Because, say suppose 10 samples of 10 grams, 1 grams of cocaine he has got, so he will sell all those 9 packets and he'll keep 1 packet for him. So, gradually, without even knowing, many a times, students or school children, they become traffickers. They come under the purview of trafficking. Next. Similarly, consumption, this is important. One exception is there, which happened in the case of a famous actor, Fardeen Khan. You must have heard his case, I don't know. He was caught with some small amount. Later on in the court, there is no immunity from arrest. You will be arrested. So he was arrested. Later on, during the prosecution, he submitted that he is a habitual consumer. So he was given immunity under section 2764 of the NDPS Act, wherein he has to perform some kind of service, and then he was let off. This is only applicable in case of small quantities, but very rare, very, very rare. Next. So what are the signs of drug abuse? Next. Physical symptoms is apparent, dull, drowsiness, coughing, little marks, etc. Because many of the drugs are heroin, etc. are taken in the form of injections. Physical symptoms, weight loss, malnutrition, some form of acute acne, tremors, constant desire for food, etc. Next. These are some of the telltale signs you have to catch. Not only for the students, but also for the teachers. Students can see in their peer group, and teachers can observe during the interaction or during the school activities. Next. These are some very apparent symptoms. Next. Now, why all these things are being told to the school children? Just for one fact is, with all the experiences, I am telling you with all the gravity, that health is the real wealth. If your health is compromised, you cannot enjoy, you just cannot enjoy life. So, you have to maintain some routine, cut down junk and physical activities, outdoor activities, the students should be engaged in outdoor activities. And just say no to drugs. Say yes to life. Next. Now, this awareness campaigns, you're finding it boring? Huh? Boring? Is it boring now? Many times we feel that children do not take interest, and sometimes during the session they feel bored. So one session or one awareness program in the school or one great initiative as taken by CBSE is not going to happen. I must admit. Because it has to be a very continuous process and the approach should be multi-pronged. Multi-pronged in the sense that we have to involve families, we have to involve school children, friends, teachers, the enforcement agencies, all those rehab centers, doctors, everybody into the loop to get the desired results. Next. So, what are the things which are expected from the parents? They should communicate well, they should stress the need for consciousness, educate and communicate with the child about the need to be conscious of addictions and refrain from in many of the cases we have seen, particularly we have reached that stage in the society where children learn from the parents. Parents are also consuming. In some of the cases, parents are encouraging the children to take. This is there, I'm telling you. So, that should not be done by the parents. Support healthy habits, encouraging the child to be involved in healthy activity. Practice refusal skills. Even if you get pressure from your peers or get pressure in the society or in any kind of a function, you should have the courage and you should have the moral strength to say no to these substances. Because taking it once or taking this 100 times is all the same. It is highly addictive in nature. Some of the drugs are such that if some quantities are adjusted or if you take a little bit more, even death can be caused within minutes. It is not that lethal. Do not supply, for God's sake, do not supply. Please do not be part of any supply chain, because you will be embroiled in such legal hassles that it will be very difficult for you to come out of it. Next. Building a supportive environment, obviously. So we have to support our children. As a father, I am also worried. I have a daughter and a son. So all the parents have to take care. The role of teachers, peers and mentors, I have already elaborated. Teachers should take well care of the school children. And we should define our role models very wisely. The role models cannot be persons who are engaging in such activities. You have to be very, very judicious in choosing your role models. Next. Responsibility of students. Next. Understand the risk. What are the risks involved? What legal consequences you can face? What health consequences you can face? Make healthy choices. Stay firm. Encourage and support your friends. If you find any person or any of your friends involved in such activities, you must inform the teachers, parents, and you must support him. Next. Now this is one case study I am telling you, because this was a cartel operating on darknet. You all know darknet? Anybody who doesn't know what is darknet? Everybody knows. So this was operating on darknet. After COVID, the trend which we are seeing is drug supply and the supply chain has taken a U-turn. So now it is delivered through couriers and the order can be placed. There are some platforms available on darknet wherein orders are placed and it can be delivered at your doorstep. This is a new trend. Next. The people who were involved, they were all college and student, school children. Next. Next. So, this person was the kingpin, Naveen Fogart. He was from a very humble background, but he made quite good money out of it. That the other persons who were involved, this Mohit, Avatar, they're all from very reputed families. The father of Mohit is an ACP in Delhi Police. His father, Fogart's father, was an officer in Haryana Transport Department. So, we found some 28 parcels. The most alarming thing is, we found some 28 parcels, we could get a tip-off, and we tried to get the details from Darknet, and involving a technical agency, we could decipher this racket. This was all orders were placed, and the LSD was sent. It was coming from foreign countries, and it was delivered to the children, school and college going students through courier. In DTDC courier, we see some 28 couriers, all directed to students of some of the very reputed institutions in this country. Students who are studying in NLU, who are studying in AIMS, who are studying in Lady Harding, studying in some reputed engineering institutes of this country. So, all of them are in jail, they are not getting bail, and they will be further prosecuted. Next. Next. This is one helpline which has been recently launched by NCB. There is a toll-free number 1933 wherein you can report any drug activities and we will take legal action against them. Next. Next. So this is the end of it, my presentation. I know one presentation or one session is not going to help, but at least it will create, I think, I try to create some kind of awareness among the school children like you regarding drug abuse. If you have any queries, I can take some 3-4 questions or queries if you have. Anyone? Any clarification? Yeah, please.
So why isn't alcohol considered in drugs? Because there's a lot of shops there. Shops that you can...
That's a very valid question. Rather, jokingly in our circles we say that alcohol is promoted by the government, right? Because there is a whole department which has a responsibility of increasing the sales of alcohol. Alcohol as such is not very addictive, I must tell you. You know, I'm not promoting it. I do not say that it is good for health. Nothing is good for health, I'm telling you. Even small doses of alcohol are also not good for the health. But there is a state policy and it is not very addictive. That's why that has not been included in the NDPS Act. In fact, tobacco for that matter is more harmful. Because if you ask any cancer specialist, most of the cancer cases are happening because of tobacco use. Does this satisfy you?
So still tobacco is still like retailed in the market.
Yeah, it is there. You know, we have to have a balance and we have to have practices enforced to maintain a balance between demand and supply. So, we, NCB as an organization, work on both ends to reduce demand and to cut off the supply. So, supply side, we are cutting off through enforcement, and on the demand side, we are creating awareness among the youth and society in general to reduce the demand. This is how the cycle will go. And for that matter, I will tell you, in India, you must have all seen that series Narcos and all those things, huh? Have you? कितने लोगों ने देखा है? You must see that. Why? Not to promote any drug culture, but to see that even very proficient drug cartels, what fate they made. The whole economy of this some of the South American countries at one point of time was being run by drug cartels. But look at the fate they have made. So, we should learn from them. Next. Yeah.
Why is it legal to grow drug plants?
Sorry?
Why is it legal to grow drug plants?
No. Drug plants are not illegal in that sense. It is controlled. I'm telling you because so far as opium is concerned, it is highly controlled. We also do destruction of the crops. Illegal cultivation of opium is punishable under the NDPS Act, and it is controlled by an authority called Narcotics Commissioner. So they give licenses, and only licensed persons can indulge in cultivation of opium. Yeah.
Do you think vapes which contain nicotine act as a gateway to stronger and more dangerous drugs? Vapes also have nicotine. So.
No, nicotine as such, there must be, even caffeine is also addictive in that sense. But, yeah, please.
See, what happens is that when as a student you start taking vapes, having nicotine, after some time you start feeling that no, I am not getting satisfaction through this, I want something more. Then you start identifying and you find out, and then you start taking cannabis, and then you go into that vicious cycle. So that is why it is important that you nip it in the bud, and those hallucinations and those sort of thinking that this is giving you some kick or this is giving you some enjoyment, that is all fictitious, that is not real. I think that is something that you have to understand, that you might feel that you are hallucinating. It's like a dream. If in a dream something good happens, is it actually that is happening? That is what happens when you are, if you start vaping, number one, what happens is after some time you will definitely start feeling कि यार इसमें मज़ा नहीं आ रहा, now let us go into some other level. So that is why having such sort of external things is really very dangerous in long term, and that is why it is important that you start discouraging such people. Sometimes what happens in school, it becomes a fashion, and in groups people start doing it, and then remaining people, they are being mocked at. Those, that is something, that culture has to change in the school. That the ones who are doing it, they need to be actually punished. And, I think the main role of Narcotics Control Bureau of local police is also that to, identify such people and punish them legally also. And they are doing it. In many cases, legally actions have been taken. So that is not only jeopardizing your mental health, but also legally that can lead to children in trouble. So that's why it is very important that it's not cool to have drugs. One has to understand that it's not cool to vape. It's not cool to take nicotine. That is something that one has to understand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So may I ask one last question, please? Sir, you've given a very comprehensive list of indicators to know whether a person is using drugs or not. Is there a comprehensive checklist, or is there any confirmatory test? Because usually people who use drugs will not agree that they have been using tests. So something that schools and teachers can use as a confirmation?
That's a very valid point. In fact, AIMS has done some study, but it is very difficult, as you have already pointed out, it is very difficult to detect any person who is consuming. So you will have to see the behavioral patterns. That is how you can make it. And there are guidelines from Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment as well as NCPCR. So those guidelines can be an indication. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for leading this crucial campaign. It has been an eye-opener. And just one thing that I would like to share with all the children, that either we can make ourselves or we can break ourselves. The decision is ours. You could follow the herd or be the lion in the jungle who roars. So you need to take privilege in the fact that you are a teetotaler, and you take pride in the fact that you don't use these kind of substances. So that decision lies with you, and you can do the best for yourself. But here, I would like to express my gratitude to Shri Neeraj Gupta ji, who's not here, Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, Secretary CBSE, who's actually made it possible to make and sensitize every child in the school, because it all starts from here. Shri N. Mrinal ji, Additional Director, NCB, officials of NCB, Ms. Neeti Shankar Sharma, Deputy Secretary and in charge of Media PR and Counseling, Ms. Sudesh Gulia, Under Secretary IT Training, and the entire coordinating team of CBSE and NCB. Your collective contribution to this meaningful campaign are invaluable. We hope it is going to have a lasting impact on schools, families, societies, and community as a whole. Thank you once again. Namaskar.